The tale of Crystal's tragic wedding was not just a cautionary story but a narrative of enduring hope and redemption. The town's ability to find solace in shared experiences and to honor Crystal's memory through positive actions became a testament to their resilience and capacity for healing. In every corner of Harmony Springs, the legacy of Crystal's life and the lessons learned from the events of that fateful day continue to inspire a commitment to integrity and compassion. In the picturesque town of Harmony Springs, life unfolded like a dream for its residents. Nestled among rolling hills and lush meadows, the town was a testament to beauty and tranquility. The close-knit community celebrated the milestones of its people with a blend of enthusiasm and reverence, making each event a memorable occasion. Among the most celebrated figures in this serene setting were Crystal Hartley and Derek Monroe. Their love story was the envy of many, symbolizing the ideal blend of romance and success. Crystal Hartley, with her flowing auburn hair and radiant blue eyes, was a beacon of light in Harmony Springs. Her genuine kindness and vibrant personality endeared her to everyone she met. She was involved in various charitable activities, dedicating her time to organizing events for the local orphanage, raising funds for cancer research, and spearheading environmental initiatives. Her passion for community service was matched only by her grace and charm. The Hartley family estate, a grand Victorian mansion adorned with intricate woodwork and sprawling gardens, was often the venue for community gatherings. Crystal's parents, Margaret and Charles Hartley, were well-respected members of the community, known for their philanthropic efforts and warm hospitality. Derek Monroe, on the other hand, was a relatively new but influential addition to the town. His entry into Harmony Springs had been marked by a series of successful business ventures. With his tall stature, chiseled features, and charismatic demeanor, Derek quickly became a key figure in the town's business circles. His ventures ranged from investing in local startups to developing residential properties, which brought economic growth to the town. His relationship with Crystal was a topic of frequent discussion, with many praising their compatibility and the strength of their bond. Their engagement was celebrated with great fanfare, and the anticipation for their wedding grew with each passing day. The couple's romance had been the subject of local gossip and admiration, and their union was seen as a perfect culmination of their love story. Crystal and Derek were the epitome of a fairy tale romance, and their wedding was destined to be a grand affair. The day of the wedding dawned with perfect clarity. The local church, a stunning example of Gothic architecture with its towering spires and intricate stained glass windows, was adorned with an array of white roses, lilies, and ivy. The floral arrangements created a breathtaking display, filling the air with a delicate, sweet fragrance. Crystal's wedding gown was nothing short of spectacular. Designed by a renowned couturier, the gown featured layers of satin and lace that shimmered under the soft church lights. The bodice was intricately beaded with tiny pearls and crystals, creating a dazzling effect. Her veil, which trailed elegantly behind her, was adorned with delicate lace and pearls, adding an ethereal touch to her already enchanting appearance. Jessica Lane, Crystal's maid of honor and lifelong friend, was an unwavering pillar of support. Jessica and Crystal had shared a bond since childhood, and their friendship had weathered countless challenges. As Jessica helped Crystal with the final adjustments to her dress, she couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. Crystal's occasional glances toward the church entrance and her restless fidgeting suggested an undercurrent of anxiety that Jessica couldn't ignore. Despite her efforts to reassure her friend, Jessica's own apprehensions about the day were mounting. Derek stood at the altar with his best man, Kevin Parker. Kevin was a figure of both admiration and mystery. With his solid build and steadfast demeanor, he had been a constant presence in Derek's life since their college days. The two men had shared numerous adventures and challenges. Their friendship forged in the As Crystal made her way down the aisle, the beauty of the moment was palpable. The guests looked on with admiration as she approached the altar, her every step an embodiment of grace and elegance. The ceremony proceeded with the traditional vows, and Derek's declarations of love were met with enthusiastic applause. "I vow to cherish and love you for the rest of my life," Derek's voice rang out, filled with sincerity, yet there was a peculiar detachment in his eyes, a coolness that contrasted sharply with the warmth of his words. The reception, held in a lavishly decorated ballroom adjacent to the church, was a scene of opulence and celebration. The ballroom was adorned with crystal chandeliers, golden candelabras, and a lavish feast that showcased the culinary talents of the town's finest chefs. The guests enjoyed a night of dancing, laughter, and revelry. Crystal and Derek shared their first dance as a married couple, their movements graceful and synchronized. Despite the joyous atmosphere, Crystal's unease persisted, and she frequently glanced at Derek and Kevin, her sense of foreboding growing stronger. As the evening progressed, Kevin took to the stage to deliver his best man's speech. His speech began with light-hearted anecdotes and heartfelt tributes to Derek, but there was a noticeable shift in tone as he continued. Kevin's voice wavered, and his words began to take on a somber edge. "I have a confession to make," he said, his voice trembling. "Derek and we've been involved in an affair. I'm deeply sorry." Crystal, the revelation was like a thunderclap, shattering the festive mood and plunging the room into stunned silence. Guests exchanged bewildered glances, their faces reflecting the shock and disbelief of the moment. Crystal's heart raced, and the room seemed to spin as the weight of Kevin's words settled over her. The once celebratory atmosphere was now charged with tension and anguish. Overwhelmed by the betrayal, Crystal fled from the ballroom, her wedding dress trailing behind her like a spectral shroud. The night air outside was cool and crisp, a stark contrast to the heated emotions that had erupted within the ballroom. She stumbled along the secluded path that led to a cliff overlooking the river. The moonlight cast a silvery glow on the water below, the serene landscape a cruel mockery of her inner turmoil. Standing at the edge of the cliff, Crystal was consumed by a maelstrom of emotions, pain, anger, confusion, and despair. The tranquil river, once a symbol of serenity and beauty, now seemed to mock her with its calmness. Her thoughts were a jumbled mess of disbelief and heartache, and the weight of betrayal became unbearable. In a moment of utter despair, Crystal took a final, heart-wrenching step toward the edge. The following morning, Harmony Springs was engulfed in shock and grief. The town, which had eagerly anticipated the wedding, was now faced with the devastating news of Crystal's disappearance. The search for the missing bride was extensive, with every corner of the town and its surroundings being scoured by concerned residents and authorities. Posters bearing Crystal's image were displayed prominently, and the town's community spirit was galvanized into action. Despite their best efforts, the search yielded no significant leads. The once vibrant town was overshadowed by a sense of despair and uncertainty. The police conducted a thorough investigation, interviewing everyone who might have seen Crystal or had any information about her whereabouts. The investigation revealed little, and the mystery of her disappearance deepened. Weeks later, the search came to a tragic conclusion when Crystal's body was discovered on the riverbanks. The discovery was a devastating blow to Harmony Springs, and the town was enveloped in a profound sense of mourning. The church bells, which had once celebrated a joyous union, now tolled in sorrow, marking the end of Crystal's life and the beginning of a period of collective grief. Crystal's funeral was a deeply emotional and somber event. The church, filled with mourners, became a place of reflection and remembrance. The service was a tribute to Crystal's life, with eulogies and tributes highlighting her kindness, generosity, and the positive impact she had on the community. The atmosphere was one of shared sorrow, as friends. In the wake of the tragedy, Harmony Springs faced the difficult task of coming to terms with the loss. The once celebrated figures of Derek and Kevin were now symbols of heartbreak and betrayal. Derek, consumed by guilt and remorse, withdrew from public life. The man who had once been a pillar of the community was now a shadow of his former self. His days marked by a relentless cycle of regret and sorrow. Derek's home, once a place of shared dreams and future plans with Crystal, became a solitary refuge. The joy and warmth that had characterized his life were replaced by a profound sense of remorse. He struggled to come to terms with the enormity of his actions and sought solace in isolation. The house, filled with memories of happier times, now seemed like a prison, a constant reminder of his mistakes and the life he had irrevocably altered. Kevin, too, faced the repercussions of his actions. The close friendship he had shared with Derek was irreparably damaged, and he became the subject of harsh judgment and scrutiny from the community. In an attempt to escape the painful memories and seek redemption, Kevin relocated to a new town, starting afresh with the hope of finding some measure of peace. He immersed himself in charitable work, hoping to atone for his past sins through acts of service and kindness. Despite his best efforts, the shadow of his betrayal lingered, casting a pall over his attempts at redemption. Harmony Springs, while beginning the healing process, remained marked by the memory of Crystal's tragic end. The community, though deeply scarred, came together to support one another, finding solace in their shared experiences and the lessons learned from the tragedy. The story of Crystal, Derek, and Kevin became a cautionary tale, a reflection on the complexities of human relationships and the profound impact of deceit and betrayal. In honor of Crystal's memory, the local school established a scholarship fund dedicated to supporting students who exemplified her commitment to community service and personal integrity. The fund aimed to encourage young people to make a positive impact in the world, ensuring that Crystal's legacy of kindness and generosity would continue to inspire future generations. Crystal's family, despite the deep scars left by the tragedy, found solace in remembering her vibrant spirit and the joy she had brought into their lives. They became advocates for mental health awareness and support, using their experience to help others grappling with similar feelings of despair. They collaborated with local organizations to provide counseling and support for those affected by trauma and grief, striving to prevent others from experiencing the same heartache. Derek and Kevin's lives were irrevocably altered by their actions. Derek embarked on a path of self-reflection and reparation, engaging in therapy and support groups to confront his guilt and seek redemption. His journey was fraught with challenges and self-discovery as he attempted to make amends for his past actions. The man who had once been a symbol of success and charm now faced the long and arduous road of personal atonement. Kevin, meanwhile, grappled with his own path to redemption. His relocation to a new town and involvement in charitable work were attempts to start anew and find some measure of forgiveness. Despite his efforts, the weight of his betrayal remained a constant presence in his life, a reminder of the consequences of his actions. Kevin's journey was marked by a continuous struggle for forgiveness and self-acceptance. As time passed, Harmony Springs continued to heal and rebuild. The town's resilience and commitment to supporting one another were evident in their efforts to honor Crystal's memory. The community's dedication to mental health awareness and charitable causes reflected their desire to ensure that Crystal's legacy of compassion and generosity would endure. The story of Crystal, Derek, and Kevin became an integral part of Harmony Springs' history, serving as a poignant reminder of the complexities of human emotions and the enduring impact of our choices. The town, with its blend of natural beauty and heartfelt community spirit, looked toward the future with a renewed sense of purpose and understanding.